When you move across the country, what's the one thing that no website or app can truly prepare you for? It's not just the house. It's not just the price. It's not even the job. It's the life you're going to live every single day once you get there. And I've watched people make moves that look perfect on paper, only to realize 6 months later, they're completely disconnected, frustrated, and ready to move again. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 keys to a smart relocation so you don't just move, you actually thrive when you get there. I'm Ken Harper with the Crosspoint team here in East Metro Atlanta. I've been selling real estate and helping people relocate from all over the country to places like Conyers and Covington for over 30 years. And here's what I can tell you. The people who have the best outcomes aren't the ones who just find the right house. They're the ones that understand how their entire life is going to function in a new environment. So let's break that down. This is the one almost nobody talks about, and it's the most important. When you move, you're not just changing locations. You're either plugging into an existing network or you're starting from scratch. So do you have family nearby, friends, maybe professional connections? Is there a church or a community group that you can plug into immediately? If the answer is no, you need to have a plan on how to build that because it does not happen automatically. How about your existing neighborhoods? Is there a strong sense of community where you live right now? Is the pace of life where you live constantly moving? Don't just assume it's going to be the same when you move. I've had clients relocate from more urban environments into suburban areas around Metro Atlanta. And on paper, everything made sense. Bigger house, better price, much more space. They're living the American dream. But what they didn't account for was how they lived day to day. They were used to walkable streets, constant activity, people around them all the time. And now, they're sitting in lawn chairs in their driveway at 2 p.m, waiting for life to happen when everybody gets home at 6 p.m. That disconnect is real, and it's hard. If your lifestyle depends on constant interaction and proximity to people, you need to plan for that intentionally. So commuting is the second factor, and this is a big one for Metro Atlanta. Here's the reality. Regardless of where you're moving from, your commute is probably going to get longer. 30 to 60 minutes is a normal commute time in Metro Atlanta. Traffic patterns and the time of day matter much more than the distance that you live. And your job location will drive a lot of your options. So here's where people get stuck. They try to force a 10 to 15 minute commute and it completely blows up the budget. Most people who are happy with their move don't optimize for their work. They focus on their life away from the job. They choose to live closer to family, closer to community, closer to what their lifestyle activities are, and they accept a longer commute as part of the trade-off. Also, if you're coming from a walkable city, you need to understand this much up front. True walkable communities in Metro Atlanta are rare and expensive. They typically offer townhomes, condos, or very dense clusters. Single-family homes with walkability is going to equal premium pricing. You don't accidentally end up in a walkable community in Metro Atlanta. You have to seek it out and pay for it intentionally. Now let's get into the non-negotiables. These are the things that should drive your location decisions first. Do you have special education needs? How about access to specific health care? Are you connected with a particular faith-based community or a place of worship? Do you need to be connected to your larger family support system? Is there a specific ethnic or immigrant community that's vital to your daily life? These are not nice-to-have features, these are the anchor points. Answering yes to any of these questions will often narrow your search down very quickly. So always start with your specific personal needs before you ever look at a house, because the wrong location can create daily friction in your life that you can't fix. For many people today, this section is the main driver impacting their relocation decisions. You need to ask yourself, how do I currently spend my time outside of work, and can I still do that where I'm going to move? Are you into outdoor activities like hiking, fishing, or playing golf? Are your children into extracurricular activities like sports or music? How often do you like to go out? Do you need a lot of restaurants? Do you go to big events? Are you into nightlife? If you're currently involved in any other activities like book clubs, community organizations, maybe a specific hobby. If your current life includes something that's important and your new location doesn't support that, you're going to feel that loss pretty quick. Now for the hard part, how exactly do you research stuff like that? There are a couple of tools that you can use. Google Maps might help if you zoom into a specific area, not just into a citywide search. You can also research local Facebook groups by topic. And there's also YouTube videos like this with area-specific lifestyle content that can be a resource. And finally, connecting with a knowledgeable local expert can help guide you in your search. Finally, something for all my analytics-minded viewers. Let's get into some numbers, but with some context. I recently had a viewer tell me I'm looking for an area with a median income over $100,000. That's actually a solid starting point, but it's very high level. Only about 10 to 15% of zip codes in the United States meet that threshold, but there are some real advantages to those areas. You have more price stability and better downside protection when the economy goes south. There's usually stronger school systems with more dual-income households that support the market. And they typically have lower crime and higher overall livability scores. But there are some trade-offs. These are very high-demand areas, so you're going to have to pay a premium. Inventory is usually very tight, which means tougher negotiations with sellers. And you don't see large spikes in appreciation. So yes, high-income areas are safe, but they're not always where you get the best growth or value. Now, if you want to research this yourself, one of the easiest tools out there is the government at data.census.gov. You can break things down by state, city, or even zip code, which is where I get a lot of useful information. But here's the deeper insight that most people miss. High-income zip codes are typically found in mature suburban markets. These are areas with higher density, more traffic, and a large population of dual-income commuters. So while they check a lot of boxes, they also come with trade-offs in lifestyle and growth. So let's bring this back to Metro Atlanta, because this market follows a very clear pattern. Wealth does not stay in one place, it moves outward over time. The core areas will become saturated and very expensive, so the buyers move out further looking for better value. Over time, the infrastructure, the retail, and the development follows the buyers, and then price pressure pushes everything even further out. That's been a cycle that has been repeating here in the area for decades. So areas that might feel just outside today, those are often the areas that become tomorrow's high-income markets. That's why income data is useful, but it should be used as a reference point, not a filter that limits your search too early. If you're watching this and you're starting to realize how many moving pieces there are, that's exactly the point. Relocation is more than just picking a city. It's about building a new life. Every decision that you make, location, commute time, budget, lifestyle, it all connects. And if you get one piece wrong, it can throw everything else off. So if you're planning a move anywhere in Metro Atlanta and you want help narrowing down where you actually fit in, not just where you think you should be, go ahead and reach out. We can schedule a 15-minute Zoom call to walk through your situation. We'll review your needs, your wants, and your priorities, and I can help narrow down what areas are a best fit for you. We can build a relocation plan that makes sense for how you actually live, not just what looks good online.